So, hi all. So, today I would like to share a very good news that today morning I have passed the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. So, which almost no much of preparation, which means I'm not saying you should not prepare for the exam, but if you have prior experience in AWS, or you have gone through some sort of AWS training, which may not be specific to this cloud practitioner, but some sort of training. For example, if you are into cyber security, maybe your organization has arranged some training on security on AWS, or you have been working on some working with the developers to host the application in AWS, or you have some sort of experience with AWS like 3 to 6 months, that would be very much sufficient to easily clear this exam. Okay. So here I am giving some of the tips which might really help you to clear this exam in the first attempt. Okay. So the very first thing is you got to go through all the services, each and every service in the syllabus, and make sure you understand all the services, and you have to differentiate them. Like you have the ability to differentiate each of the services. Like okay, so each service is very unique. Okay, don't confuse it with other services. For example, there is a AWS Cost Explorer or a Billing Explorer. So these kind of different services are there. So it's a cost and a billing tool. So this kind of services are very different. You should not confuse them during the exam. You got to learn about the exact purpose of these services, and then you should learn to differentiate each of these services individually. So this is one of the thing. And the second thing, you got to understand which of the services can be patched by AWS and which of the services cannot be patched by AWS. For example, there is a RDS service, there is a Adeno, there is a Redshift, there is there's a DynamoDB. So out of which, if you are hosting some MySQL on RDS, who is going to patch this database or operating system, uh, which is used in that RDS. So it's going to be AWS and not the customer. So you got to be very clear about these kind of things. The third thing is like billing pricing. I mean, like the saving costs, basically which type of instances gives less cost, which type of instances gives you the more costs. For example, dedicated host, all upfront, partial upfront. So these kind of stuff you need to really very clear. And the fourth thing I would say, the support plans and things. Who can who can what kind of support you will get from AWS based on your subscription, like enterprise support or business support or developer support, etc. That is the thing. And the fifth one I would suggest is like oh, just go to AWS white papers on each services. Okay, just don't go through any random training material. And there is this misconception, like I would like to say that the practice exam you are going through YouTube or any other training is completely different from the training, I mean, the exam questions you see in the actual exam. The exam questions you see in actual exam are simply single word, okay? Like out of four options, each option is a single word. It will not be like a big 2 or 3 line sentence. It is just one word. That is the name of the service. Okay, I mean 95% I am saying this. This is just a single word answers for all your questions. Okay, so this is basically the service name. That's it, or a plan, like for example EC2 subscription plan. Okay, so don't confuse about it. Just to sit on the exam, make these things clear, and you will be passing this exam very quickly and easily. Yeah. And it will be a very very added advantage if you are already working on AWS or got some sort of practical experience, or if you got have gone through some kind of official training. That is just fine. And for those who are very new to the AWS, I would suggest just to go through the free training from the AWS website, training website. They have some 6 hours of AWS foundations or practitioner course just to go through that. And the practice exam, you may not need a practice exam. It depends on yourself. If you think you need a practice exam, just to go for it. But I would suggest practice exam is not required if you are very much clear. And the practice exams are, uh, based on my experience, I am saying that these practice exams are very confusing and very unnecessary at times because they are not much relevant to the actual exam. Okay, yeah. So just this is the thing I just want to share today. Yeah, thank you very much and keep supporting. And you can comment your experience. I mean, if your experience and my experience are matching, or you got some sort of different experience in the exam. Okay. And in my next video, I would post about like yeah, I will post about how to get yourself prepared for the exam and all those stuff uh, you got to do before starting the exam, like setting up your laptop, webcam, ID verification, those kind of stuffs. Yeah, I will post a video on it.